Hi, I'm Sean Bergen, the developer of OneTrack. In this video I'm going to explain setlists, how we create and delete them, and how we manipulate their contents. Before you watch this video, I'd recommend watching the iTunes and the Music app video so that you understand something about the underpinnings of OneTrack. The iTunes media library holds all the music we use in OneTrack, and the setlists I'll be talking about in this video hover gently above it. When we open OneTrack, we're presented with the playlist view. Well, we might actually be presented with the help view, but we can dismiss that for now. On our playlist view, we're presented with a list of the iTunes playlists held in the device's media library. If you get stuck here, then you really need to watch the iTunes and the Music app video. Without at least one iTunes playlist in your media library, OneTrack cannot actually operate. I'll repeat that. Without one playlist in your iTunes media library, OneTrack cannot actually operate. Using the Busking Songs playlist here, I'm going to create a new setlist for myself by simply duplicating it. I swipe it to the left and I'm presented with two options, clean and duplicate. What clean does is to remove any data OneTrack has stored for this particular playlist, such as track volume levels, loop, or autoplay settings. But I'm just going to tap the duplicate button, and OneTrack will make a copy of the iTunes playlist as a new setlist. You'll see that if we swipe left on our new setlist, we get a clean and duplicate option along with another two, delete and rename. I'm going to rename this setlist to Saturday, as that's when I'll be using it. I can then just throw it away when I finish the gig and create a new one whenever I need it. This is why we have iTunes playlist as well as OneTrack setlists. We spend a bit of time in the Music app or on our computers creating our core playlists. You might group these by genre, audience type, gig size, whatever. But once these playlists are created and synced to our devices, we use them as the basis for all our setlists in OneTrack. You can still create a setlist from scratch by adding songs one by one. To do so, you tap on the circled plus button at the right edge of the setlist header bar. Use whichever method suits your style of working. So now we have our setlist called Saturday, which contains all the songs from the Busking Songs playlist. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll note three dots or an ellipsis. If we tap on this, we can set autoplay or loop on for any setlist or playlist. If autoplay is on, then tracks will just play one after another, similar to the Music app. I usually have a setlist or two set up for background music to play while I take a break, and for these I will have autoplay turned on for the entire setlist. If we turn loop on for a setlist, then it'll jump back to the first track when it gets to the end of the setlist. Normally the set just ends at the last track. Okay, let's select the setlist and move on to the tracks view. Here we see a few similarities with our playlist view. If we swipe left on a track, we can clean, rename, duplicate, or delete it. We can toggle autoplay and loop on or off by tapping on the ellipsis to the right of the track. In addition to that, we can temporarily disable each track by tapping the tick mark to the left of the track. This is handy if you want to leave the track in your setlist but don't want it for this particular gig. If we drop out to the settings view, then choose Personalize OneTrack, we get the option to disable tracks after play. This means that during your gig, you don't have to worry about playing a track twice, as it will be automatically disabled as soon as it finishes playing. You can, of course, tap the tick box to turn it back on at any stage. Another thing we might like to do while looking at our setlist is change the order of tracks. This has changed in version 5 and is now just a matter of moving a track to the right a bit, then moving it up or down as required. You can move tracks about at any time, even while they're playing, and OneTrack will keep things running smoothly for you. If you want to move down past the visible area of your setlist, just drag down to the bottom of the view and it will automatically scroll for you. Just under the setlist title at the top of the screen, we can see how many tracks are in our set and the playing duration. This is updated as we enable or disable tracks. Top right, we have a circled plus button which allows us to add tracks to our setlist from the media library, and top left we have a chevron button which will bring us back to our playlist view. I can choose a track by tapping on it, which brings us to the main playing view. I'll just start the track playing so I can demonstrate a few more things. I can tap the chevron top left to bring me back to the tracks view, or I can just swipe to do the same thing. Once again, I can tap the selected track to bring me back to the main playing view. Let's go back to the tracks view again so I can show you another little trick. With the track playing, we can see its progress bar advancing. I can now, if I want, choose a different track to play next. I can just drag a track into place, as I described earlier. We can see by the gradient selection that Johnny Coconut is now going to be the next track. And once more I tap on the currently playing track and we go back to the main playing view. Again, let's return to the tracks view and we'll see another way of choosing a next track. As long as a track is playing, I can just tap on any track and it becomes the next track. So, as the track is playing, I'm just going to tap now on Elegy to a Harper. And there you can go, you see it's now going to be our next track playing. And that covers set lists in as much detail as is necessary, I think, for now. Best thing to do, as with any area of OneTrack, is to play around with it and find out what's comfortable for you. Thank you.